Here we go. Terror Zone podcast in the motherfucking house. Gridiron in the motherfucking house. This was a great conversation. I'm glad me and Matt got to spend a little bit of time together. We've been working on putting this podcast together for, I don't know, maybe a month or two, but, things... we've both been busy. Obviously, Gridiron's been busy as fuck. I've been meaning to get them on, or I've been meaning to get Matt on, since the release of No Good at Goodbyes that came out back in April, I believe. And obviously there's a lot of hype around the band now, and he's been doing a lot of interviews with other podcasts as well, so I was kind of waiting for the hype to die down a little bit. It's a pleasure. It's my honor. Or my pleasure. It's an honor. Whatever the fuck. I'm glad he was able to take the time to, talk some shit with me for a little bit. We didn't get too deep, if you listen to my podcast. We're not. It doesn't get too deep most of the time. We try to keep it on a surface level, just talk shit, whatever, get to know each other, whatnot. Learn something about the band, or learn about what's going to be happening or coming up in the future, or future plans and all that shit. So, once again, obviously, you know who Gridiron is if you're fucking listening to this podcast. If you don't, I suggest you go check him out now, before you even get started. You can head over to fucking Spotify. I'm sure it's on YouTube. If you don't have Spotify, it's on Apple. It's fucking everywhere. You have no excuse not to hear them by now. It's great music. Fucking Matt is a great lyricist, and I can see Gridiron doing a lot of big things with the band. I hope they stick around. I hope this isn't a quick project. It seems a lot of the greatest bands. There's some legacy bands that have been around for 20, 30 years, but most of the bands that are really good and they hit strides, they do it in a short period and then it disbands. And people in those bands tend to go do other projects, but sometimes there's that fucking unicorn, and obviously Unicorn was obviously Gridiron was a unicorn band, is a unicorn band. It all started, they were just fucking around during the pandemic, Will and Matt and the rest of the guys, and they put out a little something, and obviously everybody knows Will from Neverending Game, and Detain is a great guitarist, so whoever, if he was in charge of that shit, or whoever it's shout out to them, because it's good music, good lyrics, and it's fucking gangster as fuck. I'll say that. How about that? It's fucking gangster. It's in your face fucking shit. And they're probably talking about you if you don't like it, so go fuck yourself. No, I'm playing. But go check out Gridiron. Not a lot going on in my neck of the woods, just fucking chilling. Summer's almost over. There's a bunch of shows coming up. We got High Alert. I got the show August 20th. This is going to be out of order. High Alert is coming back together for a show with Cycle of Abuse. And the day before that, okay, that's August 20th. August 19th is Poison Tongues and Illmatic and motherfucking, I don't know. Oh yeah, Aztec the Barfly and Mass Death. All homies, all good bands. Fucking check them out, especially Poison Tongues. And obviously, Illmatic, they said they're going to be playing some new shit, so find their stuff. I've heard their new stuff. It's really good. I can't wait for it to be redone and recorded properly, because it was just a rough demo, but fuck, it's really good shit. And this is coming out today, August 5th. So we got D-Block is playing in Windsor, and if you're in the area and you have a passport, obviously you can just fucking cross the bridge and go to Windsor. If you're vaccinated as well. If not, they won't let you in. They'll fucking arrest you and throw you under the Detroit River. But they're playing with Rust, Plead, and Reliever. And What is this place called? Oh yeah, the backstage. It's 19 and up because you can be 19 in Canada and go drink. So go do it. And motherfucking August 12th, the grunge rock band Normal from around here. Austin Peters is the lead man in that band. He runs the TIHC zine, Detroit Head Check, and they have an album coming out, fucking 10 songs on that. So that's all out August 12th, and they got a reunion, a record release show. When's that? September 2nd with Wounded Touch, this band Outside. There's some sort of surprise set. I don't know who it is. I wish I knew. Somebody tell me. What's a surprise set? Don't fucking leave me hanging. Let me in your little club. Other than that, man, I just want to give a shout out to fucking Beast, a.k.a. Tom from Hate Inc., Detroit's own hardcore band from, the late 90s into the mid 2000s or fucking 2010s, I guess. He took the time to hook me up with some shit. This is a brag. I'm being honest. I am bragging about this. I sat down and had lunch with Tom, and because it all started with me going to buy a record because they have some Life of Pain albums that were found by the distributor that they had no idea were still around, and they put the rest of them out. I don't know where you can find it, but just go to fucking Instagram and just ask me if you want one. But he took the time to meet me after work, and he gave me a record, a bunch of fucking Hate Inc. pins from back in the day, a book. It's like a chapter series. Well, I guess it's like editions. This is called Frank, chapter 33. It's all on like the history and interviews with people in DMS, obviously New York hardcore, but CTYC and Detroit and DMS has always had a long-standing relationship with Cold as Life and shit like that. So obviously there's a connection on why he would have those books. What else? What else did I get from him? Oh yeah, I got a little patch from the one and only Rat Bones. I'm sure you've heard the name. If not, fucking look up Rat Bones NYHC. He was a fella. I don't know his backstory, but I know he lived here in Detroit for a while, and he's part of the connection with the New York and New Jersey people from the early 90s and late 80s. So that's my brag on hanging out with the fucking cool ass dude. Hopefully, eventually, wink wink, I'll have him on the podcast. Don't know when, but it's coming down the pipe eventually. I'm drinking this coffee. I'm so bougie now. I gotta buy Starbucks coffee to make it at my house. I don't fuck with nothing else. It's the blonde morning blend, and it's delicious. But anyway, I just want to say it was cool to fucking hang out with him because back when I was first started going to shows and Hey Inc. was still active, I remember him and all the CTYC guys and TBD, Tattoo Boys Detroit, them fucking rolling deep and, going to shows. And I always had like it's like a fascination, but it's like you see those group of guys when they're 30, 40, 50 deep, and they all got on Cold as Life and Hey Inc. shit and CTYC shit. You're like, that's fucking fascinating. And oddly, it's like you look up to them and see such a cool brotherhood and bond that they all share. Based on music and meeting each other at the scene and being punk rock and hardcore and shit like that. So maybe that's what why it's so exciting, because those are some of the people who kept the shit going the longest in Detroit from the mid 80s all the way up until the 2010s. They still got people in Poison Tongues and shit like that. There's some OG CTYC people in that band. And, they're still keeping it going. So, shout out to all those guys. I'm rambling like a motherfucker right now. I don't know what else to say except thank you, Matt from fucking Gridiron. Um, oh yeah, my show that I booked, Summer's End in the D, September 9th. It's a Friday night. You have no excuse not to come. If you don't, you're missing out. It's gonna be fun. 7 bands. It's fucking $15, 18 at the door, maybe 50 if you show up late. So if you show up after the first band, it's gonna be $150. So get it together. Fucking buy your pre-sale ticket. Spend the extra $7 on the fucking fees up the asshole. Fuck that shit. But then it might not be $150 if you show up late. Don't be scared. Buy your ticket in advance. It's still cool to do that. It's like you have your name on a guest list. You just say, "Hey, this is my name," and then you're on a guest list. Like you're fucking somebody cool. The person behind you would be like, "Oh, he knows somebody. He's on the fucking guest list." But little do they know that you paid ahead of time and got probably a cheaper price. But once again, headlining is never-ending game. You got Hold My Own from Chicago / Philly / New Jersey. And you got D Block, obviously Detroit. You got Gates to Hell, Constraint, both Louisville, Kentucky bands. Hard shit. And you got Big Deal, like I said. I don't know. Fucking bunch of bands. But come to that. It's on a Friday night at the Sanctuary. I might do some giveaways or something the next couple weeks for a pair of tickets, but be on the lookout. Follow my Instagram. Send me a message if any questions, comments, or concerns, or you want to tell me my shit sucks. You can do that too, but beware. Anyways, thanks for listening. Consume more of the podcast. Share it with your friends. Don't be scared. Share it. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun times. If you know anybody that wants to be on the podcast, if you want to be on the podcast, you got something to say, then hit me up. I love talking to people, and we're all in this together, and we all share this together. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Are you hear that? Does it come through for you? Recording in progress.
Yeah. I got you.
All right, so good. We hear each other. We see each other. That's good. How's it going, man? Appreciate you coming on, for real.
Good, man. Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. Yeah, sorry it took so long. Such a pain in the ass, but we're here.
Yeah, we're here. I mean, you got a lot of things going on. Fucking a lot of shit. So, I'm glad you guys are making moves and doing things and staying fucking busy. That's what a hardcore needs,
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah. So, so as far for having you on the podcast, I normally don't, and I try not to listen to podcasts that I intend on having people on. Like you've been on probably like fucking 10 at least now by now. So I haven't really, so I don't know much about you. So I may ask some questions that you may have been asked on every other podcast, but just for the people who may not have heard, we got to give a quick rundown. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Yeah. So, let's get it popping. Start off with the usual. Obviously, you're into hardcore, but how and when did you get into hardcore? Must have been some years ago, right?
Yeah, it was around when I was in high school. I had some people that I became friends with who went to local shows and stuff like that, and started kind of just tagging along with them and going to like local shows with them is kind of how I first got introduced into hardcore. And then we started branching out and going to shows, outside of Philly and stuff like that. And, it was just a big snowball effect. It took one show for me to, keep coming back for more. And here we are, like 15 years later.
Yes, that's about approximately what years was you getting into it in the beginning?
It was like 2008.
Okay. Hell yeah. Yeah. It's always a good time. It's never too late,
Right.
Just a couple years before you, but I don't think I've seen anything you haven't fucking seen, man. You're from the East Coast where shit is fucking
That's
always
right.
popping, man. Detroit died down a little bit here and there, but it seems with you when you got like Joe and all those people, fucking New Jersey, New York, you guys all kind of stick together and keep shit rolling hard, man.
Yeah, PA, like I feel like that's part of the allure of living in Pennsylvania. Is like you're an hour and a half from New York City, you're an hour and a half from Baltimore, you got Philly right here, you got DC, Pittsburgh, Richmond, all driving distance. So there's definitely never a shortage for like shit that's going on in the area. And with Joe and Bob and what they do with booking shows in the city, we're just like ungodly privileged. It's every single week there's shit going. There's multiple shows a week every single week. So I know not a lot of places have it like that. So I definitely feel fortunate that that's kind of how it is around here.
Yeah, man, you guys got fucking Joe and Bob, like you said, like especially Pennsylvania. I've always said it, like just all over Pennsylvania and all up and down the East Coast. You can just, when you said hour and a half to New York and wherever the fuck you want to go for any show, pretty much, almost any night of the week, it seems, especially after the pandemic and shit. It just seems even more crazier to me anyway. I mean, well, I haven't been paying attention, but it seems like so much going on.
Yeah, there's like, now it's at the point now where there's so much shit going on that it's like pretty hard to find venues sometimes and stuff. I guess it's kind of a good problem to have because shit's always popping off. But yeah, sometimes you run in this situation where you have too many shows and you can't find spots for all of them. So,
hey, well, you said it's not a bad problem to have, but
right.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? So what was some of like your first like hardcore bands that you got into like back in the day? Like what were you introduced to that really were you like, I love this fucking shit,
So like growing up, I was really, really into hip hop. My brother, I have two older brothers who were also like super into rap when I was like mad young. So like they'd always let me borrow like Wu-Tang CDs and shit like that, like No Limit stuff, Master P. And so I grew up like going through, rap. And then when I found hardcore and I found hardcore that incorporated hip hop, those were the type of bands that kind of like E-Town is like the first band that I listened to that, where those worlds collide. And it's just like, holy shit, like I had no idea anything like this existed. It's perfect.
Dude, I can relate. I mean, E-Town, I remember even before I even knew what like hardcore, even what like punk was, I've said this before, but I was just walking down the street with my friends. I don't know, I was like 14 or 15. I knew like punk, like the Casualties and Dropkick Murphys and shit, but there was it was like a bumper sticker, but it was on like a telephone pole. It was the E-Town concrete sticker. And I had no idea, like I was like E-Town, and the next city over from me is called Ecorse, Michigan. And I swear, I thought it was like Ecorse. I was like, I don't know what this is. And I didn't even look it up. But then, a couple years later, I seen it. I was like, for E-Town Concrete, I was going through I don't know what the fuck I was going through. Maybe it was a flyer or something, but I seen it. I was like trying to check these guys out. I remember seeing it. And I was like, damn. I was like, this is better than fucking Limp Bizkit or POD or something fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So much better. And obviously it's different and more real and hardcore, but you can relate the sound, I suppose, if you don't know what the fuck you're listening to.
Right. And that's one thing that kind of bothers me with Gridiron is like people always, throw the Limp Bizkit word around, and it's like
shit. No, it's fucking rude.
It kind of drives me fucking crazy, but it is what it is. Comes with the territory, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys are obviously great, but you're not the first to cross over like that. So they've been throwing that shit out since the fucking 90s and other bands. So
yeah, for
it's
sure.
Say it to my face, motherfucker. How about that? So, I mean, but you guys killed it at fucking Sound and Fury. It looked like from all the videos and shit, man. Like, what kind of experience was that? Compared to other festivals such as This Is Hardcore or whatever you've done in the past recently?
Well, I think like the biggest difference was the show was outside. Like that's like the glaring difference, compared to all the other fests. They did a really good job with like, even though the fest was outside, they had like air conditioned trailers for bands to like chill in and stuff. So you could kind of escape the heat. I kind of got duped before I went over because I checked the weather and it was mad hot here. It's been like heat index of over 100 for like the past 2 weeks here.
Mm-hmm.
But I checked the weather in LA and it was like, it said it was going to be like mid 70s and I was so psyched. And when we got there, like it changed and it was like 87. It was like mad humid. So I didn't get to escape the heat, but like having like that amenity for bands and stuff was really, really nice. Like just the amount of people that were there was just like, I mean, obviously that was the biggest hardcore show attendance wise that I've ever played in my whole entire life, like over 5,000 people.
For real? Damn, it looked like 5,000 people. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking absolutely insane. Man, like, I mean, are you surprised that the Gridiron blew up like the way it has? I think you guys blew up according to the fucking crowd and your following.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the, like, when we first started Gridiron, like, we were never supposed to play a show, like, we were never going to do a record. All that stuff wasn't even like a thought. It was basically like, during COVID, we were bored, Will and I, and Will wrote some guitar tracks. I was gonna, like, do some rap shit over it or whatever, and that was gonna be that. It wasn't gonna be anything else. And then Alex from Streets of Hate ended up wanting to put it out on a cassette. So then that's when we put out like the EP on a cassette. And then obviously Will and Sam from Triple B have had a relationship for a while, because of Never Ending Game. So Sam really wanted to do the record, so we put the 7-inch out on a record. And then we kind of got pushed to do an LP, and we ended up doing that split on From Within Records with Despise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all this shit was just like mad unplanned, and I think that's like was a big factor in how everything just happened so organically. Like, there's no stress, no pressure on us. Like, it was just literally just me and 4 of my best friends just doing whatever the fuck we want to do with music, which, I think that's when the best shit happens sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I can only hear what you say, but I agree. It's like, well, you're just doing what you like to do, and then somebody heard it, and then other people heard it, it got shared, and next thing you know, you fucking playing in front of 5,000 people in LA. That's so insane, man.
It's pretty surreal. Yeah, it's a surreal feeling.
And I mean, it's gotta, like, I don't want to put it in words, but like, do you feel like it's like, are you comfortable with it all, or is it like too much? Is it overwhelming at all, or are you ever afraid to be on stage? Are you fucking nervous before shows?
I was last weekend for sure. Normally I'm not. Normally it's not too bad. But obviously when you step out and you just see that many fucking people looking at you, like, it's weird, and I just look at everything that we do as like house money. Like, none of it was supposed to happen. So everything that happens is just like cool, and it's a bonus. And, it's all about just like doing this with my friends, and, shit that I can look back on when I'm older and, be psyched about, and as far as like, a lot of like people around here, like Joe and Bob, really helped like give us a push around here and stuff. So, I owe a lot of credit to a lot of people for, helping Gridiron, get shit done.
Yeah. Shout out to them guys. Okay. I don't know if I got this wrong, but I think I heard on Joe's podcast when he did, it was like an FYA. It's like a rundown. Was Gridiron? So did you guys have a name that you wanted to call the band before Gridiron, or am I wrong? I thought I heard Bob say you guys had thrown it around and calling the band Fat Fuck. Is this the same band or is it a different band?
Yeah, so like that was like kind of a thing that was a joke, and then it got to like, we joked about it so much that like it like almost didn't turn into a joke, but I'm actually really glad that it did. It was a joke and it didn't happen. In hindsight. It was literally just, all of us just laughing around like, yeah, it'd be funny to like name a band Fat Fuck. But the gods looked over us that day and said no, and struck that idea down real quick. So
there you go.
Yeah, Gridiron's a little bit better if you ask me. So
I agree 100%, but it would still be hilarious if you guys had the same popularity in the bands. Like, oh, Fat Fuck's coming to town.
Yeah, I don't think that many people would walk around with shirts that say Fat Fuck on it, but
fuck, I'd be forced to, and it would make sense. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So, see what else I got for you. God damn, is it hot as fuck there today too? Because it's hot as fuck here.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like tomorrow it's supposed to be over 100 here.
Yeah, so it feels right now. It feels like 106 is what it's like. It's so humid though. Like, it just needs to storm. Like,
it's been brutal the past couple weeks here. I'm a summer over winter guy, but as of late, I think I'm kind of ready for summer to wind down. I'm ready for football season and like to be a little cold every once in a while. So
Yeah. Yeah. So you can sit and laugh at the Lions getting smashed. You can laugh at fucking Will. Tell him how bad the
yeah,
Lions suck.
I mean, what's cool is on the Saturday before opening NFL season, Gridiron and Never Ending Game are playing Toronto together.
Oh shit.
And then so after that, I think we're all just going to drive back to Detroit, and the Eagles play the Lions in Detroit week 1. So I think we're all going to hit up the game or some shit like that. So that should be pretty cool.
Okay.
I'll probably get beat up in the parking lot either way, but hopefully it's after a win.
Okay. So is that the fest that's September 10th?
Yeah, the Hold Your Ground Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I got the show with Never Ending Game on the 9th. They're playing here before they go out there Saturday.
Yeah, I think I'm throwing the idea around of flying out for that. So we'll see. Maybe I'll see you there.
Fuck, it'd be cool. I mean,
yeah,
shit. I'm sure there'll be plenty of room. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I like for Hold My Own's playing. Should be a good fucking time. You know,
love that.
Yeah, Greg,
I love that.
Of course.
Yeah. Greg's one of my really good friends, and I mean that band's awesome. You know, Chicago style with like the classic Greg vocals is it's just like a really, really good blend. And yeah, I love their shit. It's awesome.
Yeah, and Ansh is just cool as fuck. So
yeah,
I can't wait. I don't know, dude. Like, shit's just going crazy, especially all these festivals. Like all the bands, all the big popular bands seem to be really coming together. Hardcore is one big community, obviously, but like for everybody to be flying all over the fucking country to do these fests in certain regions for some tours that possibly may not reach them is really cool, especially when you get the Mind Force, Never Ending Game, and whoever else is all going to fucking Toronto area.
Right.
And, not many times will all those bands be going through, Canada within say next year or two. So that's cool. Everybody gets a little fucking piece of the, it's like a traveling fucking circus.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, it's really cool right now. There's like a network of like really cool bands. There's just like everyone's friends with each other. Everyone supports each other's bands. And that's what makes shit awesome. And that's, when bands support other bands, that makes everyone happy. And then, when you're playing happy, people realize that you're actually having fun doing this shit, and that translates. And I think that's like one of the most important things is just like, people supporting other people.
Exactly. And I know there's always been festivals and people across the country can be fucking best friends, but it doesn't seem like there's ever been a time where there's like a giant festival. It seems like every month at least where everybody's fucking going to them. And a lot of the same bands are showing up, which is great. Everybody loves to see the bands that are at the top of the bill and at the bottom, of course. But
right.
It's just a great time because everybody's getting a chance to see all these bands. If you can drive a little bit or you can fly or whatever the fuck. But
right. And I do definitely think there is a point where there may be too many fests and stuff like that, and it kind of makes things a little muddy and stuff like that. But I mean, the fact that, pretty much the whole entire country is covered right now as far as like, whether it's a really big 2-day hardcore show or it's a fest, New York has 2, Philly has 1, Ace does his thing in Virginia. You got stuff across the Midwest, Sound and Fury, you got the Just Another gigs up, in the Pacific Northwest, it pops off everywhere. FYA in Florida in January. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, now Detroit's got tied down coming back next year.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully it'll be just as awesome. I don't see why it would be worse. So
yeah. I'm bummed we
can only grow.
Yeah,
it's new.
Yeah, but I'm bummed we couldn't play that this year. Yeah, just logistically it didn't work out for us. Okay. But the show looked awesome. You know, and that's
you guys were invited to play.
Yeah, we just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah,
so
it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times though. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, I got to go to a Fury of 5 reunion that weekend. So wasn't a bad consolation. So,
no, not at all, dude. Yeah. Yo, that looks sick as fuck too.
It was really cool.
Yeah, Fury of 5, you're coming back, whether it's temporary or permanent, or I think they're are they recording some new shit? It looks like
they
in the lab.
Kind of like tease the idea of doing it. but I know they got that show. They're going out west in to Sacramento and playing with like Shadow Realm and E-Town and a bunch of other sick up bands. So that's pretty cool too. You know, them going out west.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're making moves. They're heading that way. Hopefully somewhere in between, maybe Detroit eventually.
You never know.
Oh, that'd be good. Fuck. Let's go back to Sound and Fury, man. What do you think was since you were there, what was the craziest set of that 2 days? What do you think? Because
Man,
I've seen a lot of fucking clips here and there, 10-second clips, but being there, what do you think was the best?
Dude, I like no capping when I say this, every single band got it insane. I mean, just for the fact that there were so many, every single band got an insane reaction. But like, you know, it was kind of like a Bay Area hardcore showcase, you know, with you had Drain, you had Gulch, you had Tsunami. All three of those bands obviously just like it was mayhem, absolute mayhem. Tsunami set was incredible. You know, I don't think that band will ever have a bad set for as long as they're a band. I mean, they just got it. Mind Force, always incredible. Pillars of Ivory was one of the bands I was most excited to see just because, you know, they only played, I think, one show and I absolutely love that shit. And so getting to see them was sick. And then God's Hate, insane set. The pit for God's Hate was like not wide. It looked like a fucking river. Like it was mad thin, but went like all the way back, like towards like the back fence. And they're one of the best sounding live bands I think I've ever heard. Like it's absolutely insane when they play live.
Yeah, they're very talented, man. Like, I can't even recall seeing any footage of them off the top of my head. I just have the loop of Brody fucking stage diving his 280-pound ass.
Their video actually came out like not too long ago today, so it's up now. And then what was cool about the show is it was like a very mixed bill. You know, you had Soul Blind, another band I absolutely love, Pity Sex, awesome. So there was a little something for everyone on that show, which, you know, I think helped, you know, get people out and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, still in like LA and on the West Coast, like they're kind of, sort of coming around to the idea of like being out in public.
Right.
They've been, obviously there's been a lot of shows, but like such a gathering in LA of, I'm sure it's up and down the West Coast, people all over the country fucking came. And like, it was really like a celebration on the West Coast to me is what it looked like. Like, holy fuck, man. So many people.
Yeah. And there's just so many people in California that like, you know what I mean? It definitely, but yeah, I mean, the vibes all weekend were just very on point. It was awesome. It was a really, really good time.
Yeah. And look, like what's cool as fuck, one of the last bands to play was Terror, and then Aaron coming out to do fucking Dead at Birth.
Dead at Birth.
Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah. Like, I mean, that was like one of the moments throughout the weekend where it was just like, holy shit, this is like, this is next level, crazy. But yeah, and I mean, Terror, obviously, getting to see them have an insane set at This Is Hardcore and then getting to see them again 2 weeks later was a pretty nice treat. So
yeah, but just like, see, dude, I fucking love Death Threat. I'm telling you. So like, I heard when Terror put out that recording of Dead at Birth, and
the cover, yeah,
for some reason, if we can't find it anymore, it's just gone. That, and I don't know why it's not on the internet no more, but like to see that live, I was like, motherfucker. I seen Death Threat one time. That was back at the Holiday Jam last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I went out to there, and like
that set was awesome.
Yeah, like mind blowing. Like, listen, I love Death Threat. It's one of my fucking favorite bands. So to see them live was like them and For Blood are like two bands that I thought maybe I'd never see, but I got to see fucking Death Threat, and I doubt I'll see Blood for Blood. At least Buddha won't be in the band. I'm almost positive, but it'd be cool to see a Blood for Blood set. I don't know. Rob's crazy, ain't he?
But yeah, Death Threat. That's another thing about being spoiled from this area. you know, I've been lucky enough to see Death Threat, you know, a bunch of times and stuff like that. And, you know, those are things that sometimes you take for granted. And then, you know, because you have all the New York hardcore bands, all the Connecticut hardcore, you know, Boston, Baltimore, Philly, you know, Western, you know, Pittsburgh, Western PA shit, you know, so, you know, having all that just right here, you know, and having Philly almost feel like the nucleus, it's like the central point of all those spots, you know, so yeah, we're pretty fortunate.
Yeah, I mean, you guys hold it down, and obviously with Joe and the shows, we talked about him. Like, fucking dude's been doing what? I think got 25 years now, fucking booking shows. Man, what a cool guy to keep just like stay like, you know, I think the hardcore, like especially like the older people like him and you know, whoever else, they're like I don't know, like the Lost Boys on Hook. Like, I'm never gonna grow up hardcore for life. You know, they can have their careers and that and kids and home life, but you know, that shit fucking stays with you and I gotta be grateful for people like them.
And there's also a reason why people, you know, like Joe has been doing it for so long. He knows what he's doing. He got it down. You know what I mean? Like there's, you know, there's definitely a formula to doing shit like that. And, you know, to be able to sustain that much longevity, you know, and still be able to just pump out amazing shows all the time, you know, you got to tip your hat to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, it doesn't get any better. How did you Will is obviously your band. How did you guys link up? Land the past. Was it because of Detain or something else?
Yeah, so we became friends maybe 2013, something like that. So it's been almost a decade at this point. But yeah, the first time we hung out was when Detain was a band. Okay. So that's when we all met, and like there's a really cool connection between like all of us here in PA and like all of Never Ending Game out you know, and others out in Michigan, you know, and it's a pretty cool friendship group, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you want to have those regional and cross country connections, you know, just have a place to play shows or fucking share shit with, and you know, for lifelong friends, you know, across the fucking country. That's real cool, man.
Right.
Like you know, because like your own little thing, like hardcore is not that big, so it's cool, you know, to have people you can fucking relate to. Like, it's hard to go out in the real world and you know, like, be friends with fucking normal people. I'm like, I hate you all, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know. What kind of plans do you guys have? I mean, it's been a few months since the new record's been out, so since April, right? In March or April. Do you guys got any plans to record any new shit? I'm sure you do, but is that in the works?
Yeah, so we have a song coming out in September on the One Scene Unity comp that From Within Records does.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So that'll be cool. So we got that coming out in September, and right now Will, you know, him having to pull double duty with NEG and Gridiron, NEG is working on an LP right now. So, you know, once that's all wrapped up and finished and stuff, you know, I'm sure something else will happen. Not quite sure what or when. You know, we have a couple ideas of things that we've thrown around. So, you know, I feel like there will definitely be more Gridiron. I'm just not sure what the timeline is for that.
Okay. Hey, man. Like I said, the Will's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on.
He's a fucking machine, man.
He just
keeps pumping out riffs. It's insane.
You know, he's got one of the best sounds too. Like, it's like whether it's a Detain or Gridiron or fucking Never Ending Game, you can spot when he's playing, man. And just something about it. He's got like it's heavy, but it's also it's upbeat. It's got a good fucking sound, and
yeah,
he's so talented with everything he does. And you know, without people like him,
right,
there wouldn't be bands like yours.
Right. Exactly.
Shit. Oh, we drew a blank. What are we gonna do? He's got the Painted Truth hat on. Shout out to them because they've been fucking kicking ass too.
Yeah, I mean, they're just a fucking unstoppable force, bro. Every single time they play, it's just like it's insane. I mean, they're, you know, they got it down, and they do it, you know, the best that, you know, probably any band can do it, honestly. You know, I
yeah. Go ahead.
look,
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, just you know, that's another thing being from this area, lucky enough to see them, a lot. And I think I could watch them every single day and never get bored. I mean, their set at This Is Hardcore, dude. It was like literally like a fucking prison riot. It was absolutely nuts.
Prison riot.
Set of the weekend,
Dude.
like not even close. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have that experience with them too, because you guys played in Detroit with Pain of Truth for the album release show. You guys did two of
Right.
them, and I mean, I can vouch and say, like, normally I don't get like nervous at shows anymore, because whatever, you get hit, but not a big fucking deal. But when Pain of Truth Pain of Truth fucking started playing, like, I got to the side, dude. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, because people were just going insane. In between with you guys and Pain of Truth, I think 4 people got fucking knocked out that night, like out cold on the ground, and that doesn't happen a lot. But
yeah, not anymore. But yeah, it was that show was a ton of fun. Both record release shows were incredible. Yeah, that was awesome. And shout out to them for coming all the way out from Long Island to play that. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because you guys got the Enemy of God on that show. That was fucking nice. You guys asked them to play, because they're fucking sick as hell.
Yep, fucking Internal Bleeding also coming from Long Island. And that was like always a thing for me. Like I always wanted to see Internal Bleeding play a hardcore show to hardcore kids and like have people actually be able to just like mosh to them. And that their set was fucking awesome. And yeah, that was another thing I was really, really psyched on.
Yeah, man. Like, I've listened to them in the past, but not a lot. But them live are totally fucking insane. Like, you can definitely mosh to that band. And people got fucked up during that band too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and C4, that fucking crazy band C4. I can't wait to see them in fucking New York, man, with you guys again. That showcase.
Yeah, that show is going to be incredible too. I mean, every top to bottom, every single band on that show is awesome. So that shit's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 days of fucking chaos. And we got to give it to all those guys, Lumpy and Triple B and the Streets of Hate people. Like, it's like, it doesn't get any better. They all want to work together. I know that, like, the Northeast super tight, but to have them put on such a cool showcase of what they call modern hardcore, like, dude, it doesn't get any better. Like, for them to all come together and work it out, and so everybody can either travel there or it can be like a regional Brooklyn thing. Like, it's retarded. Like, what the fuck? Like Tsunami and Volcano and dude, like,
yeah, it's cool. And like the coolest thing about the Northeast is like that's literally what it is. It's like a big fucking family, and everyone helps each other out. Everyone puts on for each other, and it's really cool. It's really cool to be a part of. It's really cool to see, day in and day out. And yeah, hardcore is in a good spot right now.
Yeah, man. Dude, let's go back. Like, going like shows, like your first like shows. Like, do you remember ever being like nervous or like intimidated going to shows, especially in the Philly area? Was it fucking insane, like 07, 08, when you first started going to shows? Like, were you afraid to mosh ever, or do you remember getting out there your first time and just fucking swinging your arms like an idiot?
No, I remember like kind of falling back for a while, like, because I was so new that, like, I didn't know much. I went into it totally blind to, just what hardcore was and shit like that. So I soaked it all in for a while, before I started doing anything. So there was definitely a moment in time where I was like, all right, this is a little fucking psychotic. I'm a fall back and just kind of watch. So
yeah, especially with what was like some of the local bands that were big around then? What, like Shattered Realm, were they still playing around 08 with Joe singing for them then, or no? Was it
so first time I saw Shattered Realm with Joe might have been 2010, something like that. When I first started going to shows, the bands that you would see almost every weekend is I saw Bad Seed so much, Cold World so much, Mother of Mercy, Mongoloids, title fight when like they would just had like the 7-inch out and shit like that. You know, like TUI, it's when like Stay Cold just came out and stuff. So like that was like the era, when I first started coming around.
Yeah, man, it's a treat to get fucking Cold World all the time, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean, every show would, was Bad Seed, Cold World, Mongoloids, Mother of Mercy, and then, a headliner, whether it be, like Have Heart or Blacklisted. I saw, Blacklisted was another band that, I saw a ton, when I first started coming around.
yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this: how close? You talk about Boyertown. How close is that, like the Philly area? Is it just on the outside? Like, I'm not familiar with like the geography, so
Yeah, it's about like 45, 50 minutes
okay.
outside the city.
Yeah. You grew up in Boyertown? Obviously, talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. I went to school there, grew up there. Then once I got done school, I moved like into the city for a while, and then now I'm back in the burbs right outside the city.
Okay, hell yeah, where it's safe. No, because I was always wondering, like, Boyertown just sounds like a small country ass town to me. Like, I'm like, I don't know, like the population, it can't be huge, or is it a big?
I mean,
place?
no, there. I forget, like there might be 10,000 people in Boyertown,
okay.
some shit like that. It's like 2 square miles. It's like that's what makes it funny is like you got people singing along and stuff like that, and they're shouting out Boyertown, which is literally just like there's nothing there. Like it's literally just like the most like normal ass town ever. Like it's been around since the 1800s, and all the houses and buildings or stuff are like mad like historic and old and shit like that. So
that's cool as fuck. Well, I was surprised. We'll go back to that for Holiday Jam in Reverb in Reading or Reading. Like I was like, I don't know what to expect. I thought it was like a major city, but when I showed up there, I was like, this is some like Civil War shit. Like old ass cemetery on like that main road right there. I was like, it's like a castle looking church. I was like, this is fucking wild, man. And it was cool. I wish I would have known because I spent fucking most of the day like in that town. Like I got in there like early Friday and I was like, there's nothing to fucking do here. And little I know, like I'm like a history nerd, so I thought it'd been cool to go to Gettysburg. I don't know, it was like 30 minutes away, dude. I didn't end up going. Like I didn't realize till like afterwards. I was like, I should have just fucking went there and just seen some shit. Like,
yeah, Gettysburg's cool. Yeah, I live about 20-25 minutes from Reading.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like kind of in between Philly and Reading.
No, well, I mean, you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we're kind of out of the city, but like in the burbs, like you said, like
right.
But it seems like if you're not like in Reading, it's like it's pretty hilly and country around there.
Yeah.
Fuck, like like I'm just south of Detroit, like a couple miles, and like it's nothing but fucking houses on top of how like it's a suburbs, but there's a lot of people.
Right.
And you got to drive like 45 minutes away to get away from fucking people. Then you're just dealing with like heroin addicts and hillbillies,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing when I went to Detroit for the first time, I noticed that like Detroit and Philly are very, very similar as far as like the vibe goes and like just the way the city is and stuff like that. So, I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah. Did you like spend much time in Detroit? Like, what did you do when you got here? Because I don't know how, like when you got into town, did you see anything cool or just fucking?
No, we didn't have much.
And roll out.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we got food. We hit one of the Coney Island spots.
Oh, we got to.
Yeah, then we went to a barbecue spot, and we hit the Carhartt store, and then we went to the show. So nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Hey, what impressed me too. I don't know if I was just high or what, but I see you eating Jets on stage right before you fucking played.
Yeah, that was a vibe right there. I've been, I heard Will and all my boys from out there cap up Jets for a long time, and it did deliver. It's good. It's real good.
Yeah. I assumed, I was like, dude, if I ate some pizza before I played, like I'd be throwing up on stage a minute later. I was impressed how you handled that.
Yeah, like luckily, like with the like with gridiron vocals and shit, like I don't yell much, which I think helps a lot. Like it makes it easier. Like if I tried yelling all those words, I'd fucking die.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I'd
fair.
straight up die. But like yeah, when we recorded like when we recorded the LP, we went out to Chicago to do that, and I was just eating like an asshole all weekend, but like it didn't really seem to affect me too much, which was nice.
Hey, fuck Chicago food. Hey, yo, this thing's about to cut out real fast. Can we pause and I'll invite you right back on Instagram?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. Let me just fucking shut this down. It says less than 1 minute left. Hold up. All right.
All right.
And
All right. Now,
yeah, anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, you talking about somehow we were talking about food. Oh yeah, Chicago. I mean, I love Chicago pizza and shit.
yeah, that shit. Yeah, we did the Chicago pizza. You know, we did the hot Italian beef. We did the Chicago dogs. Yeah, that was my first time ever to Chicago when we recorded the LP, and that was you know, usually I always like put it in my head that like when I leave Philly or the Philly area, wherever I go, I'm like I'm not gonna like it as much as I like Philly. And when I went to Chicago, that city's fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's fucking. I don't know about a population wise, but there's so many people like Detroit's like under like 1 million people these days. I think it's like 700,000. So like
Yeah,
if I go to Chicago or I mean I don't know, I've never really been to any other bigger places except Chicago, I suppose. I went to fucking New York one time, but that was fucking wild.
yeah,
Just like population wise, it's not overwhelming, but it's just like the only time you see people like walking on the streets of Detroit, like downtown, if there's like an event. But in New York, it's like there's just hundreds of people everywhere all the time, and they live there. Like there's lots of tourists, but they just fucking live there.
yeah. That's one thing that was like mad weird to me when we went to Detroit because we got in at like 9 o'clock at night and we went to Lafayette,
Oh yeah,
the Coney spot,
hell
and
yeah.
yo, it felt like you were in Gotham because there was literally there was nothing on this, no one, no cars, no people, nothing on the fucking street, which was really weird to me because like Philly, you know, 24/7 you got people walking around doing shit. You know, New York, same deal. So that was really weird to me.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like after like business hours, it's like downtown Detroit kind of shuts down unless it's like
Yeah.
the weekend. But it's yeah, you're right. It's like Gotham though. It's like garbage blowing and a couple people standing around who are probably up to no good. You know,
Right.
fucking. But speaking of fucking people up to no good, dude, you see those videos on like YouTube of what's that street in Philly where all the people are fucking slumped over, all passed out and shit.
Yeah, it's Kensington.
Yeah. Oh my god, that looks like a crazy area. It's like this guy on YouTube. He just like he drives down the street with like a camera recording, and it's like I never seen nothing like it. Like you see videos of like Skid Row in L.A., but to see like it's like groups of people, it's like slumped over off whatever fucking drug they're on is it's fucking scary. Like what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on
I
there,
mean
man?
that area is like the biggest open air drug area in the country. And it's all heroin. But you can't you can't explain to someone what it's like there. Like it's you know, it's sad, man. It's like it really it feels like you're on the set of The Walking Dead when you're in Kensington.
There you
Like it's
go.
just, I mean, you know, obviously, like, you know, my years being down there and around there and stuff, like seen some pretty crazy shit happen, you know, in that area of the city. Um, you know, and it sucks that like instead of the city trying to do things to, you know, make the problem go away, they just concentrated the problem. So now it's only this little area's problem. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very strange place. It's a place when you drive through it, you wouldn't believe that it's in our country.
Yeah, to say the least. Like, to compare it to Detroit, I can't say there's like any one street that you can drive down, at least in my experience, or at least to my knowledge, where it's just dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of people just all sitting around like garbage can fires or they're like sleeping in tents. There's not much of that. It's like the homeless people, they're like tucked away or or just in abandoned houses, because there's so little people in the city of Detroit. At one time, there was like, I think 3 to 5 million people, but now, how I
Right.
said, it's under a million. And there's just so many abandoned houses and empty houses where like squatters is a giant problem for the real estate market, because if you buy a house and you sell it, you can't get these fucking people out.
Right.
It's like they don't leave, like they don't have to leave. I don't know how the law is written, but there's some like Zillow ads where it'll say like this house is occupied by squatters, and you're based on of what you'll have to do or deal with. The price is reflecting that. It's like,
Right.
what the fuck? So I have to fight these fucking homeless people, get them out of my house that I want to buy. Whereas the cops can't get them out. Like, I have to deal with it myself. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's yeah. Yeah. Usually like, obviously in any big city, you're going to have homelessness. And, it seems like a lot of it in Philly specifically kind of stems from drugs. And yeah, they all, the city kind of herded, pushed everyone with issues like that, into Kensington. And
mhm.
it's fucking sad, man. Cause like none of those people want to be there. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, it's really shitty.
Yeah, like at one point, either it's mental health or they were doing some type of drug and got hooked on others, or fuck pharmaceuticals led them to that shit. And then it comes down to like mental health and the community, you trying to do better for their fucking citizens, and like you said, they just consolidated to one area, and like nobody gives a fuck. that's
Right.
that's really, and I know Sonny does his best to he make a show awareness with that stuff in the videos he does, and what he talks about on some of
Yeah.
the shit he puts out. So fucking good on him for trying
Yeah.
to make
For
the
real.
community better. Yeah. um Damn, I was about to ask you something, but you totally left my fucking brain. It was about Pain of Truth, but it left my head. So we talked about you don't really have any plans for a new album yet, but I'm sure you always write and shit. Like, do you write shit before you hear like music? Like, is that possible to do, or do you have to
Yeah.
hear like a song to be able to write like something to it?
No. So like I kind of take, I feel like a lot of hardcore bands will hear a song and then write lyrics to the song. And like hip hop isn't really that way. Hip hop, you write your lyrics and then you piece them to the song so they fit. And that's kind of what I do. Like I constantly am thinking of ideas and thinking of shit and just jotting them down. Every day I'm opening up my notes app and like throwing something in there that, oh, that might sound cool. That might be a cool hook. That might be a cool, rhyme pattern or something like that. And then when I get the music sent to me, then I go to this fucking clusterfuck of words and then try to just like make a song out of them pretty much.
Yeah. Um, a lot of the songs you write, like obviously, about whether it's loyalty or fucking people doing you dirty, like are a lot of the songs from like personal experiences, or is it just stuff that like comes to your brain as like a hip hop artist in a sense? Like, you can
Right.
write about anything, make anything rhyme. It's fucking awesome. But is any of it personal that you wrote down because you're feeling a certain way, or is it all just shit that
Yeah.
sounded
I
good?
mean, I mean, there's definitely, you know, some specific instances in my life, whether had been experiences, with myself or experiences with other people that, give you motivation to write. But another big thing is like, just PA hardcore in general is so strong on just brotherhood and, unity and things like that. So, it's real easy to kind of want to center your lyrics around things like that, just because
Sure.
the bands that inspired Gridiron to be a band, that's what they were about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. Have you ever? I mean, I might be unaware, but have you ever thought about doing like actual like, hip hop tracks, or have you done it before? I just don't know.
I actually have like
Yeah.
a handful of songs recorded and shit like that, and I just never put them out. I had like one song. There's one of Bob Wilson's bands, Mouse at the Palace. They're all from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I did like a rap for them, and that came out. But for the most part, like I just write shit, and like I've recorded some stuff, but I've pretty much been the only one to ever listen to it. Maybe one of these days I'll get brave enough to put it out, but we'll see.
Should, man, that'd be fucking cool. I mean, you got the style, and your fucking rhymes and your flow is fucking good. So I mean,
Thank
obviously
you.
you got to practice this shit. Like it's like Gridiron isn't the first time you rapped anything. So like, what are you just sitting in your room rapping, or like throughout the years and you're like being exposed to hip hop? Like, were you going to local hip hop shows, or just you or listening to shit?
I just like listened to stuff and
Mhm.
absorbed it. There's a lot of times where like I'll just drive around and I'll just like listen to instrumentals. Like I won't listen to like music. I'll just listen to instrumentals and I'll just like kind of do shit in my head. And then if something like clicks or sounds cool while I'm just like kind of doing whatever, then I'll jot it down and shit like that. So a lot of my like lyric formulation and stuff happens doing that.
Okay, that's cool. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, this may be um a random question, but are you straight edge or no?
No.
No. Oh, you smoke weed or anything? Or you can say I can. I don't. I'm just saying, like, as an artist, like that might open up your mind a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If you caught, if you uh, whether drink a couple beers or something, or
Yeah, I
smoke, or
mean,
just chilling, does that
yeah,
influence?
yeah. I don't know if I really notice a difference.
Okay.
Sometimes I think like it may help in the sense that like it's easy to overthink shit. And then when you make yourself a little more stupid, you don't overthink as much. You know what I'm saying? So like
Right,
I
right,
could
right.
I could see why people like smoking weed before they start writing, music in any way, because it kind of just, maybe takes the edge off to the point where you're not, dwelling on something that doesn't need to be dwelled on.
Right. We don't want to think too hard, then it becomes a job, right?
Right.
Well, that's fucking cool, man. Like, you know, anybody can attempt to write a fucking poem or a verse or something like that, but you really got to love it to actually fucking lay it down. Which when a lot of people probably think about it, but for you to fucking do it and put it out there and share what you think is dope, like that takes balls, man. So I mean, I'm fucking proud of Gridiron and everything you guys have been doing and supporting hardcore and fucking and playing shows. Like, it's impressive, honestly, because you guys are so new still. Like with all the momentum you've gained in such a short period of time, but a lot of push from your friends and the local scene really fucking lifted you guys and put you out there. So
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And like it's hard to do a band like this because there is such a fine line between like people fucking with it and like coming off as like corny. Like it's very easy to step over the line and be like, yeah, this shit's whack. You know, like doing like rapping with hardcore.
yeah, of course.
So you definitely have to be mindful of that. And that's something I put a lot of thought into when, writing lyrics for the LP and stuff like that. Like you can be over the top, but you can't be too over the top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, as long as you're aware, and not just like egotistical about it, you're like, this could possibly sound dumb to somebody, but I
Yeah, I
don't give
mean
a
the
fuck.
point. I mean some of it is just objectively stupid. You know what I mean? But dude, like the whole point of this band is to just have fun and make music that our friends want to dance to, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think having that little of stress and stuff like that with a band helps everyone in the band have more fun. And that's another thing with Pain of Truth is every time they play, you can tell they're having so much fun doing that shit, and that shit translates into the crowd. If the band's having fun, crowd's gonna have fun too. And I think that's like a huge thing. Tsunami, same thing. Mind Force, all these bands, like you see genuine, happiness, and they're glad to be up there and glad to be doing this shit. And I think that stuff really translates.
Yeah, and it's cool to see like when you guys are on like the same bill or whatnot. Like, there's like 50 singers. Like, I like when you guys came to to Detroit, and Shackled also played that show, and Dylan did that part. Dude from what's that band? Fucking
Enemy Mine.
yeah, Enemy. I wasn't
Yeah.
saying. I'm saying say one on one.
Oh yeah,
Same dude,
yeah,
right? Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
thought.
same dude.
Yeah. And like, but there's like 3 people doing that part. Then there's like 5 and 7 people. I was like, what the fuck? This is like the coolest shit. And just see everybody on stage. Like, I know you guys are all boys and shit, so it's like there's 18 people singing along on stage, and then there's 150 to 300 people in the crowd just fucking jumping up and down like crazy people, man.
Yeah,
and that's gotta be
like
such
that,
a vibe.
Yeah, and that's what's all like, Gridiron isn't 5 people in a band. It's you want all the you want all your boys involved, shit like that. It just makes it more fun. You know what I mean? And like, that's energy that correlates, and people feed off that shit.
Yeah, and even to see at once again Sound and Fury or any festival where all you guys are together, man, it's nothing but happiness for all the bands, like everybody just on stage, whether they're sharing the mic or doing parts of this song or this and that, and it just goes to show that when you find a group of friends that you fucking love, like you have a good time anywhere, man.
Yep, 100%
spot the fuck on, man. So shit, what's some good food in fucking Philly? What's your go-to if you're gonna go out to eat? Say you're gonna go out to eat tonight, what would be your top pick? We're gonna go for a cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak is Joe's Cheesesteaks on Gerard Ave.
Yeah,
and it's not even close. I get some backlash. I get some backlash from people like Joe. Joe thinks I'm stupid for thinking Joe's is the best. But yeah, out of all the ones I've tried, I mean, that one is just my go-to. And then Steve's Princess Steak is probably my number 2.
Man, you're lucky to have all those fucking cheesesteak spots out there.
Yeah, there's too many. I mean, I step on the scale and there's too many. Trust me.
yeah. I was gonna go to This Is Hardcore in 2020, dude, but then it got shut down or whatever because of the pandemic and all that. Like I had like a room booked already. I had my little route planned out. I was gonna rent a car and all this stuff, and then it got shut down because I was like, it's happening. I don't know what band or Joe told me the dates, what it was gonna be, but there's no bands, obviously. Like he didn't. That's a specific information that can't be given out ahead of time. And so I had all my shit booked out. Man, I was looking all over the internet for fucking cheesesteaks and whatever else, places to see. And then it got shut down. I was like, motherfucker, dude. I got an Airbnb. I paid for that shit. And them motherfuckers didn't give my money back. They're like, damn. Oh, here's a credit. I was like, I don't want a credit. I want my money back.
Yeah, it's that's one cool thing about Philly, man, is there is no shortage for shit to do. I mean, history, food, sports, you name it, like Philly's got it. And I love the city so much, and there's nothing there, that you can't ask for. Everything's there.
Yeah, man. What I was interested in seeing the most was like fucking like Liberty Bell, or like I want to see the Edgar Allan Poe house and all that. Man, I was looking forward to all that shit. Like the
you got fucking Thomas Jefferson's crib, shit like that.
That's wild, man. That's like 100% like American history down to the fucking day.
Yeah, they still got the fucking cobblestone roads there from like the late 1700s or whatever. Like, they're not. There's roads in the city that aren't paved, and it's cobblestone from over 100 fucking years ago, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it might sound like cheesy, but I bet you can feel like the vibes of like the history. Like I feel some shit here, like.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing, about Philly. It's just like the city itself, from the city to the people. There's just so much personality and attitude and stuff like that, and it's no bullshit. It's great.
Yeah. Hey, it's like Detroit was only good for like fur trading with the Canadians and like all the water, it's like, it's like Detroit is all, I think it's about like 310 years old now, the actual city of Detroit. So there's a lot of like Native American history with like the French Canadians and shit like that.
Right.
So I mean, it's cool to learn, but like it's like home, so it's not as cool as real American history, like
Right.
the founding fathers and the fucking colonies and stuff. I find all that so interesting. And I mean, if I was from Philly, I'd be like, I'm from where this shit was fucking started,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there anything that you're most excited for or looking forward to in hardcore in general? You got any favorite bands that you'd like to put out there? That what do you listen to these days?
I mean, right now, Drain, Tsunami, Pain of Truth, Gulch just had their last show, which was awesome. God's Hate. There's a lot of really, really, awesome current hardcore bands right now, like Never Ending Game. Mind Force has a new record coming out soon, and that shit's incredible. There's just current hardcore right now is very, very good. And especially in Philly, you got bands like Struck Nerve, which is they're on Youngblood Records. They're kind of like a locking out style band. You got Off the Tracks, which is Bob's band, and they're just like very straightforward, hardcore. You got a bunch of like young bands like Garot. Killing Me is a band from Delaware with a bunch of young kids, and they just got a record coming out. So there's a lot of really, really cool shit happening, in this area right now.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
I mean, you like Cycle of Abuse? You like that band?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aren't they from the area? Cycle of Abuse? Am I wrong?
Yeah. They're a Philly band. Yeah.
Okay, so I get them confused with there's that fucking Chicago band. It's something Abuse. I don't know. I can't. Nick Ayala's band. I forgot the name of the band for a second, but I was like, oh shit, I say the wrong band. No, but their singer, I don't know his name, but I know he's from like from Metro Detroit area, and they're gonna be here in I think like April 19th or 20th or August. What the fuck am I talking about? And fucking that band's heavy as fuck. Like their singer's like he's like a smaller guy, but he's got a fucking mean ass voice.
Crazy voice, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them. They'll be coming through.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, fuck. So I don't know, man. I guess we covered a lot of shit, and I know I said to keep them about an hour. We're running up on that time. Is there anything else you got to say? Anything going on that people should know about? I know we covered possibly a new album in the future. Any other big things that should be noted?
We got that Hold Your Ground Fest coming up, and then 2 weeks after that is the Triple B Days Streets of Hate shit in Brooklyn, and then in November we're playing the Act Like You Know Fest in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So that should be pretty sick. And then we got a show in October that should be announced at some point soon. So that'll be cool. I'm real excited for that one. And then that's pretty much it. All that's on the plate right now. But shit always pops up and stuff like that. So
cool, man. I mean, all I gotta say is fucking let's keep it going. I mean, shit is awesome right now. Gridiron's cool as fuck. And I think you should really put out a hip hop track, man. Record something to straight hip hop with a sick beat, sick old school beat, man. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm looking at the folder on my computer right now. I have some beats that Pillars of Ivory didn't use for songs. Oh. And I thought, and I tossed around the idea of maybe writing some shit to them, but we'll see.
Yeah. Pillars of Ivory, dude, that shit fucking took me like blew me back because I didn't know what to expect. Like when I first heard it, I wasn't sure how they were gonna bring it all together. Like dude from fucking Mind Force and Aaron, I was like, how are they gonna make it work? Which obviously they did, and I didn't doubt it for a second, but I was like, I just couldn't wait to hear it. And it was everything that I thought, but I was still surprised at how fucking good they were. And I hope they do a tour or something. I know Aaron's always busy as fuck. And then what dudes got Mind Force, but I hope they put out more shit eventually.
Yeah, I mean, their set was just like, it was just a party. Like that's what it felt like. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they do more stuff in the future. I know logistically it's pretty tough for them, but hopefully at some point it goes down again.
Yeah. Well, hey man, appreciate you coming on for the 100th fucking time, and I'm glad it finally panned out and we got this done. And hey man, I hope you're able to make it out in September before that fucking show in Toronto, man. It'll be
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I'm gonna try.
awesome. Well, fucking take care, and I'll let you know. I'm gonna try to get this out fucking tomorrow or the next day. It depends how busy I am. So
Cool.
we'll just fucking share it from there, and all good. I appreciate it.
All right, sounds good, bro. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, man. Be good. Peace.